So I saw a tweet today saying that big-time YouTubers will have a budget of up to $40,000 for their YouTube studios. My friend, it would appear that you're grossly underpaid. Hey, what's up to all my Licious fans? Steve Alicious here, and I did promise that we'd do another video on this topic over the weekend, and here it is. There's a couple different things now facing BlackBerry owners, whether you're on Android or BB10. We now know there's not going to be another BlackBerry device, at least in the short term. Onward Mobility is not going to be releasing a device at all, as they've gone under. So you have that problem with the shutdowns with BB10 and all the rest of it, but in the ending of support for a lot of Android apps on the Key 2, as far as BlackBerry apps are concerned, on the Key 2, on the Key 1. The other problem is February 22nd is tomorrow. If you're watching this on the Tuesday, that is the day, at least on AT&T, that they're shutting off or at least limiting the capacity of a lot of devices that they are not deeming fit for their new and upgraded network. So if you're somebody who is holding on to that BlackBerry, you need something, and you need something fast. And when I was deciding on these devices, there's going to be 4 of them, so it's going to be a bit of a longer video. You know, you watch that documentary, there was the book first, The Smartest Guys in the Room, about Enron. The authors described that Jeff Skilling, the CEO, used to like guys with spikes, or people with something extreme about them, or different about them. And to me, that's what it's going to take to kind of scratch that itch when it comes to replacing your BlackBerry. I don't think, at least in my mind, that just a glass slab is going to get the job done. Sure, most of you are going to go to just a regular Android phone, a Pixel, whatever it happens to be, an iPhone. In fact, if your number one issue is security, I know nothing is really secure at this point with all the privacy protection and the data and all the rest of it. Really nothing. But iPhone, I think, is right now at the top of that list for security. But if you're just wanting something that's going to give you that feel of a BlackBerry, or at least give you some of that feel back, we're going to go over these. And they're all relatively cheap. The links for the ones that I know about on Amazon will be in the description, all under $400 or there's about. First one up, the most logical of them all, the Unihertz Titan Pocket, and of course the bigger brother, the Unihertz Titan. Few things here. It's got the keyboard, which is going to be the only one of the 4 with a physical keyboard, so that makes sense for a lot of you. If you're just keyboard or nothing, keyboard, you're just going to start writing letters again, whatever it happens to be, then this is really your only option that's relatively supported. I say relatively because we don't know with Unihertz, right? The regular Unihertz Titan was stuck on Android 9 for the longest until they finally got ready to release this, and then they started updating that. So if that's a concern for you, this might not be an option. But right now it's on Android 11. Right now it's relatively up to date, and it's working well. There are some things you need to consider because it's not quite one-to-one when you're talking about, well, here's a keyboard. I want a keyboard phone. I'm coming from a Classic or a Q10 or something like that, and I would like to use a keyboard, and this should be comparable. While the feel, it's a very nice keyboard. The build quality is incredible. They did a fantastic job. It's just solid. The keys feel nice. It's overall a wonderful device, and it's in a great price range. You can usually get them sub $300. The issue is Android itself. BB10, you could get away with a Q10 or a BlackBerry Classic, especially the Q10 at that 1-to-1 aspect ratio on a smaller display. Because BB10 from the ground up was built to support both the keyboard and those aspect ratios, and the apps that were designed for it took advantage of the space. Everything went to the border. When you pull up, see if we could do it. When you pull up social media, oh, it's not going to work because I have it on airplane mode. But you can see it here. When you pull up social media, it is it's tough to see it on camera just how small that is. The buttons are incredibly tough. You can't even read an entire tweet. The experience is night and day compared to what you were getting on BB10. So don't think you're just going to go from your Q10 or your Classic because this looks like it and you're going to get a similar experience. They don't leave you completely out to dry. They do what they can in terms of optimization of Android, but it's just only so much you can do as it's not really built from the ground up for this form factor. Battery life is great. Build quality is great. Those are the things that you could carry over, and the keyboard that you were getting from your BlackBerry device. Next up, the one that I just did a video on and I'm working on the full week-long review of now, the Moto G Stylus series, basically, at this point, because you could go with either that one or you could go with the 5G. There's some great deals to be had on the 5G version, and this one is sub $300, brand new right now on the Moto site. Love the Stylus. I think that adds a little something. If you're used to signing documents, PDFs, highlighting stuff, sending stuff to friends, whatever it happens to be. The thing I like about this is you get the gestures, the Moto gestures, which work great on it. It's a great build quality, even though it's plastic. 90 hertz display, at least on the one from 2022. Fantastic battery life, which is really, on this one, on the 5G, you're looking 8-9 hours of battery life. On this one so far, it's been 7 plus, pushing 8. I think that's really a hallmark of a BlackBerry replacement, getting that fantastic battery life. You get the kind of something extra with the pen on the device, the stylus on it. Great. I love lightly skinned OS with the Moto version of the UI. It's fantastic. It's relatively well updated. Android 11, they had a little bit of a difficulty. It wasn't as well updated as Android 10. Hopefully with Android 12 this year, they come back strong and really keep these updated. But you're promised that support there. You're going to get it. Great devices, serviceable camera, but it's value for money. It's pound for pound, which BlackBerry back in the day used to be about anyway, getting that pound for pound value, and you're certainly getting that at $299. And then on the 5G, stupid carrier deals for Boost Mobile and all the rest of it, Metro PCS. People are texting me or rather sending YouTube comments saying they're getting this thing for like $150. And if you could do that, you're well on your way to something that is supported. Oh, by the way, voice over LTE. The Unihertz Titan Pocket has it. Whether AT&T recognizes that or not, I don't know. But T-Mobile, it'll certainly run on. And the other two are good to go as well with that. Third up on the list, bit of a different one, but it's the reason for a reason. The LG Wing, still supported, great hardware, super cheap on Amazon Renewed. We're talking $300 for this thing. What I like about this as a BlackBerry replacement is the build quality is great, but it's that multitasking. This is the only device, and I've said it before, and that includes foldables, your Galaxy Folds, all the rest of them, your bigger phones, your phablets, whatever it happens to be. This is the only device that I like the idea of multitasking on because it makes sense. So if you're somebody who's into the BlackBerry for that productivity, you want different things open at once, this is great. You can have Hub down here for as long as it's supported. Look, I don't know what they're doing with Hub and the BlackBerry Services apps. My understanding was they were going to keep going with them. They just weren't going to support them anymore if you're running something older than Android 9, which is going to include any BlackBerry, even the Android BlackBerries. So if you have something like this on Android 11, which is still supported, you should be able to get your BlackBerry apps through the Android, through the Play Store. That was my understanding. If it's different, let me know in the comment section below. But you could have something like the Hub down here. You could be scrolling through emails. You could have regular content up here. You could have the web. You could have YouTube. You could be watching something. You could have stock charts or so, whatever you're doing. And you could have something down here that's text-based because it keeps the aspect ratio of the content. That's what I love about this. I can't say that enough about the LG Wing. If the S22 Ultra were not on its way and going to be here tomorrow, my SIM would be going back into this because it's that cool. And I love the idea of multitasking that preserves the ratio of the content. I can't say that enough. Whether it's widescreen up here, and if it's text or whatever, you got kind of the squared off regular form factor. It's just like half a screen down here. You can have Twitter down here. You can have whatever else up here. It's great for multitasking. It gets you that little something different. Right? BlackBerry at the end of the day, especially people still carrying around a BlackBerry, that's something different is what you're after. And this certainly has it. And it has the productivity and the build quality. Great screen, decent enough battery life, especially compared to other flagships on Android 11. You're getting a Snapdragon 765G and all for right around $300. Again, link will be in the description. That is a fantastic deal. Now for the dark horse, because there's always got to be one. The Microsoft Surface Duo, and wow, man, I carry this every day because as stupid as this device is, and it is, this is the closest experience or the closest feel, productivity-wise, that I've had since using my BlackBerry Passport. And I might sound dumb, but the reason being is the two displays. Because if you're about productivity, all right, you can have Inbox, your BlackBerry Inbox, open on its entire wide display where you're able to view an entire email, all the rest of it. See if I pull up one of your comments without getting into too much personal information. But see, you can see the entire email there. It's great. And you can have, let's say you're working on a PDF on this screen. You get all the Microsoft functionality. Okay, so you get OneNote. You get Microsoft To Do, all the ecosystem that they have in there. You have Office apps. You can pull up, you could be working on a PDF over here, or a Word document, or whatever a project happens to be, or an Excel spreadsheet. And you could also be reading the email at the same time of whatever the product specs happen to be, or what the requirements for the project happen to be, or work stuff, whatever it is. The productivity on here is good. The only problem is, it's BlackBerry replacement that you can't type on. How far have we come? But you can't type on it. It's the worst typing experience you're going to get. Hands down. So if it's a companion device that you're not relying upon to text all day, so if you have a cheap iPhone or just something else or whatever that you have lying around that's just going to work, even that free one that the AT&T will send you, whatever stupid thing is just for calls and text, and then carry this around for everything else you're going to do. But I tell you, my inbox has not been this clean since I was carrying around my passport all day. Because you could just have BlackBerry Hub and the inbox on all day on this screen while you do whatever you want over here. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all the rest of it. Microsoft To Do, like I said, all the Microsoft stuff. It's great. It's a fantastic device to carry around. I would never in a million years use it as a phone, but it is something that as a companion device to give you that BlackBerry feel. And that's what we're about right now. We're trying to reconstruct the feel of carrying around the BlackBerry and at least remake that productivity that you used to have in the aggregate. Just kind of, if it's a couple devices that brings you to that level of productivity that you used to have with the one device, then so be it. I personally think that if you're coming from a BlackBerry, you're going to be bored with a slab. No one wants to be bored to death with their tech. Look into one of these. They're all sub $400. I think it might be a good idea for you. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you have other suggestions, I want to know about them in the comment section below. If you've made it this far, we said that bit already. But you know what you're going to have. Until next time, that's the part that we're at now. Have that Steve-alicious day.